Given yesterday's national power cut and the fact that I'm at Hams Hall, the site of the former coal-fuelled power station and all the surrounding infrastructure around it, I thought it would be a good idea now to bring up the subject of HS2 and electricity, because with great speed comes great energy requirements. How much? Well, KPMG did a report for HS2 saying that the current rail network requires 4.45 terawatts per hour per year of electricity. Now, I don't know what that means either, but what I do know is that same report said HS2 would need 3 terawatts per hour per year of electricity. So HS2 needs 2/3 of the energy that the entire electrified rail network currently needs today. Or to put it another way, 1% of the output of the national grid. And the thing is that no one seems to know how this is going to get there, where it's coming from. Not just in terms of the generation of electricity, but you need infrastructure to get it to the site. You know, things like pylons, etc. And when you ask HS2 where that's coming from, they say, well, that's National Grid's responsibility. And when you ask National Grid, they said, well, ask HS2 Limited. And it seems very much that this is not just a massive cock-up, but a massive off-the-books cost that hasn't been added into the overall bill yet. And this is something that the Prime Minister should know all about, because it's happened in his own constituency already, where HS2 Limited lost the contract to get the electricity where it was, where they needed it, in Hillingdon, to plug in the tunnel boring machine. And now they've got to go all the way to Harrow, and instead of using the tube and, you know, sticking the cables down the side of the London Underground and no disruption, you know, cheap, easy, they decided, no, we're going to dig up all the roads all the way to Harrow. You know, loads of disruption, but loads of money for the constructors. And yeah, it's just massive cock-up, but massive cock-ups mean massive payouts. I haven't done much filming today because it's been really windy. It is subsiding now, but I've also found some shelter because for some reason this DFS warehouse over here has got this rather crappy defensive moat built alongside it. And of course, you build a moat if you need to keep someone out. And who do they need to keep out? HS2 Limited, of course. So what you've got here is a crap idea in a series of crap ideas that HS2 Limited couldn't admit were crap ideas. Because over there, you have the slip road coming off junction 10 of the M42. That's the junction. Over there is Tamworth. And what they said was, well, it's in the way. You know, your motorway junction, it is in the way of our railway. And nothing can be in the way of our railway, so it must move. You must move your motorway junction the same way as you must move your industrial estate. Well, I don't really care if you move it. You don't have to rebuild it anyway. Just get rid of it. And they've done this a lot. They've not looked at things like this as constraints. They've looked at things like this as objects of irritation that need to be eradicated. The best example of which was Hanger Lane Gyratory in London. You know, possibly the one piece of road infrastructure that is mentioned on the traffic bulletins more than any other. There they were planning 5 years of roadworks. You can't have 5 minutes of roadworks there without it being a disaster. They're going to take down 21 bridges. They were going to be working on one side of the North Circuit for 99 weeks. It was insane. And this was the Department for Transport that were proposing this. It took them, I think, 2, maybe 3 years to realise, yeah, it's a bit of a crap idea, that, isn't it? This and others, the consultation's ongoing, obviously, that will go through. This has taken them 6 years to realise, yeah, we'll probably put it in a tunnel here, because, yeah, it was a crap idea, wasn't it? Just like the rest of HS2. Well, day 2 was much better than day 1. I cannot emphasise how bad day 1 was. A lot of that was my own fault because I meant to set off the day before that, and I ended up, you know, not getting the train until about 5 o'clock to get to Birmingham. So it was all a bit of a rush.
and I was following the maps, following the OS maps, and unfortunately, after Spitfire Island, and you go up to the M6, the A452 doesn't have a pavement, and I didn't know that, and therefore the bridge that I was going to get onto from the A452 didn't have any access. So scrambling up there, brilliant bit where I grab onto this tree, and it's not a tree, it's a branch that's landed upright. Oh dear, and I was just so glad to get to Water Autumn, but I was that wet that I couldn't get my clothes off. I did get them off eventually, and then I couldn't get into the sleeping bag because I was that wet that the sleeping bag was sticking to me. And you know, the clothes from day one are only drying off now. I've had to carry them round slightly damp. Yesterday I only set off about 12 o'clock, you know, chickened out, and just stayed in a cafe in Water Autumn. And today was great. I landed on my feet. I was, you know, almost finished. I decided to have a pint, and I said, after this I'm just going to go about another mile and find a field. And they said, you can camp in our beer garden. Oh, so brilliant, thank you for. And the thing is, I didn't ask. You know, the staff and the customers at Gamecock here just said, yeah, no, it's fine, we'll sort you out, and that's brilliant. And yeah, and all the aches that I had on day one, they're not there anymore. I'm getting different aches, but my feet were really sore, and they're fine now because they're getting used to it. It's yeah, tough. You're gonna have to live with it. So here we go.